And sitting in with me today, my wife, who is also a mom, Lisa Russell. Gotta commit. It's funny because I know, you know, mostly Yvette is sitting in here, and we never talk about what we're going to talk about because I learned that lesson from Regis. And Kelly, what's really funny is we live together, but our weekend was so full, we still really haven't talked about... We threw a 40th birthday party for a friend of ours.
One of my best friends.
Yeah.
So we threw a party for her, and I've been holding on to this story to tell you because I think it's a good one.
Because before the party started, our friend, are we saying it's Chris?
Yeah, my friend Christine.
Christine, they went pole dancing. Or no, you took a pole dancing class? I don't know what they did. That's why I want to find out.
I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about right now. So, yeah, so little backstory. My friend Christine, she was turning 40 this year, and she hasn't had the most awesome year. You know, you just want your friends to have great years all the time, and it hasn't been great for her. And she's like, and then on top of it all, I'm turning 40. Bleh. And I said, you know, let's try and just change this up. Let's try and change the story around. And
she's a very cool woman, so for her to be down is not normal.
It's not normal for her. And she's like, I don't want a birthday party, I don't want a birthday party. I'm like, we're gonna do it anyway. And she goes, all right, let me think. Okay, here's what I wanna do. I want to get my sexy on 40. I wanna take all my girlfriends pole dancing. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the muted response.
Pole dancing, people, pole dancing.
I think you had to talk him into it.
40 years old on a pole, okay?
For some, it's an occupation. For others, a fun afternoon.
Well, I had never been on a pole before, and I was terrified. Don't know how to do
what? Embarrassment?
Embarrassment.
Yeah.
And like, maybe you're not as sexy and cute as you think you are.
Because to be clear, this is only women. It's a class.
Yeah.
There weren't guys there with dollar bills, right? Okay.
No, not at all. Okay, so we get this, and she said, okay, you handle it, you take care of it. So we brought our group of 9 girlfriends together. We're all different shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter. Some are funny, some are just really conservative, and we're like, we're gonna do this. Everybody's terrified. Terrified. So let me just say, some people have judgment about ladies on the pole, and I will tell you a little quick backstory. One of my good friends, when I was 20 years old, came to me.
Story.
I know. She came to me, and she said, I have something to tell you. And I said, okay. And she said, I'm a dancer. And I said...
And you didn't know?
No. I've been a good friend for many years. And I said...
You just hadn't been hanging out on weekends for a long time together.
Well, no. We lived in different states.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, you're taking dance class. That's really great. And she said, no, not that kind of dancing. And I said, oh, you're an exotic dancer? And she said, yeah, I'm an exotic...
Did you judge her
well,
in the moment?
I said, well, how long? I was really just shocked. And I said, how long have you been dancing? And she said, well, for over a year now. And I said, how come I don't know about this? And she said, well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I thought you were going to judge me.
Oh, that kills you. That guts you.
And like my heart broke in 1,000 pieces on the table. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm that terrible friend that you couldn't even come to me with that information. So I decided in that moment, no more. I will never, ever judge my fellow sister and doing whatever you got to do to make it through that point in your life. And I just said, you know, it really is true. Once you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And you're 20. Like,
right.
I don't care. Whatever. She made the most of it.
Okay, so now how does that connect to you being on the pole? Get back to that.
Okay. So we gather up our group of nine girlfriends, and we all go to the pole dancing place. And because there's 9, we actually get like a private session, which if you're going to do this, I highly recommend private sessions because you're not with strangers and it's already hard enough.
So is it a room and there's a pole and it's you and the other girls?
Yeah, so you walk in and they give you some champagne, which is really helpful. And then they open up like the doors to the lion's den.
So then being nervous is something that most women feel. If they're prepped with champagne, they know this is going to be a little out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I think for most women that don't do this, you know, having to take like the mom hat off and then the work hat off and somehow get your sexy on at 5:30, you know, it's just not normal. So you need a little champagne. But I will tell you,
not a guy on the planet won't pay for his woman to take a pole dancing class with her girlfriends.
okay.
Sign us up.
Well, so, and you know, it's like you're with your friends and you don't want your ripples to show and like, oh, just don't get a shot of me from the backside and all that stuff. But you walk into this place and it's all that red lighting. The red lighting that you wish they had a Victoria's Secret dressing room. And so you feel like, oh, and then they've got candles and then they got, you know, Missy Elliott's, you know, get your freak on, get your freak on. And so it was really like you feel sexy. And so we're like, okay, we can totally do this. And
what are you wearing? What did everyone wear?
I was wearing my workout stuff because it's an actual workout as well. But so I was wearing.
Sure.
It is. I will tell you how much workout it is. So the instructor first starts by saying, okay, so first we're going to do lap dances. And I was like,
and the instructor's a woman also.
yes.
Right.
And who had like these
Just checking.
super shoes on and like tight little boy shorts and like a
Did
low
they
bra.
bring men in for the lap dancing?
No.
Okay.
So she says you have to lap dance with your girlfriend, like pick a buddy. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm lap dancing with my girlfriend? And so like my girlfriend, who happens to be the birthday girl, sits down and I'm like, okay. And she goes, now take her hands and put them on the chair. And I said, okay. And then she's like, now spread the, and I was like, oh my God, this is my friend. And then you kind of get into the groove. And
are you laughing now at this point?
Hysterically.
Okay.
But then you come to the place of you kind of, you know, bring up your inner Tawny Katane Whitesnake video from the 1980s.
Nice reference.
Yeah. And
this is a woman who pre-show sings Foreigner or some classic rock every day backstage.
which I didn't even listen to Foreigner when I was
Well,
a
you
kid.
weren't alive. How
no.
could you? It's a crazy thought.
It's a crazy thought. So anyway, so the lap dance part went well, and then she said, okay, it's now time to get on the pole. And we're all really afraid because it looks really hard to do the pole. And you're like, am I going to stick to the pole? And then, you know, like spin around. So let me just show you.
Whoa, really?
Now, I imagine that there's a pole here. And so, now, has anyone ever been on the pole before? Oh, you've been on the pole.
Wow.
Thank you.
Right here in the
I
tan.
love that.
Hold your hand up. Got a shot? There she is. Wow. So this,
Thank you.
You know this world. All right,
Okay, so maybe you can help me out if I don't do, I can't remember everything. So you're supposed to take like your stronger hand and put it on the bottom, and then your weaker hand, you put it on the top, and then you're just supposed to start twirling around on the pole. And so you're like, okay, I can totally do this. And I'm twirling and I'm twirling. And then they said, and now do the hook. And so, hook. And so you're hooking and you're in these, you're hooking in the shoes. And so just like twirl around. So now I'm like twirling on the pole. And she said, now drop to the floor in your sexy vibe. And so everybody's like, and then we have to do that, practice it like 10 times. And then one of my really good friends looks down at her knees, as you can just see, and she's like, oh my God, I have dirty girl knees.
You mean they have dirt on them? Oh, I got it. Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from this about people who do this for a living? That it's not nearly as easy as it looks?
It is hard work. I was bruised on my legs the next day. I couldn't move my upper body. It was such hard work that I actually called my friend, you know, who used to be the dancer, and I was like, I have a totally newfound respect for you and what you used to do. And she was like, oh, honey, I never did the pole. That was really hard. I just lap danced.
That's a good story. And the payoff was from my end, because you guys came back and all the guys were there. We were decorating the house for Christine, and then we had done this idea, which is a great idea to do for your friends. It was actually your idea also. We made a video. Everybody contributed a video under the theme of It's a Wonderful Life. So we sent an email and said, send in a video of how your life would be different if Christine wasn't in your life. So everybody went to the dark place of how bad their life would be And then our friend Cunningham puts this whole thing together, and then Tom and Tim, these screenwriters, comedy screenwriters, they open the thing with this whole big scripted bit they shot in the streets of Hollywood, and it sets up this whole thing.
It became a terrible competition.
It was fantastic, though. And
it's a lot of pressure.
I shot something on the Let's Make a Deal stage that Wayne let me in on, and mine was really not very good compared to everybody else's, and that bugged me. But in the theme of it, the message was, wow, actually, our lives would all be significantly different if Christine wasn't here. And it became this kind of fun, funny, ultimately beautiful way to say we love you. And then the payoff to the story from the woman who everyone loves who was having a bad year told Lisa, second best day of my life was my birthday party.
Yeah.
All right, good story.